Welcome to Top Crew Aviation. This is Captain PK. Let's start DGCA syllabus of General Navigation of CPL. This, like you will get the PDF of this syllabus complete. You can take this print out. So, first of all, I would like to tell you like what all we are going to study in navigation, so that you have basic idea and what kind of questions DGCA would expect from you to know, and how many marks you can secure in which part. And let's I'll tell you everything. So overall, for us, this is air navigation. If we talk about CPL, as over here, we are only discussing about CPL. So in air navigation, we have to study about general navigation that we are going to discuss in detail today, and radio navigation. Then we also study about instrumentation. And the last one is performance. So the combination of all these four subjects is known as air navigation for CPL. The course is little bit lengthy for navigation. Total questions you will get in DGCA examination would be 100, and each question for 1 mark. So like out of 100 marks, you have to secure at least 70 marks to qualify. 69 fail, 70 and above, we are pass. Now, like in general navigation, we discuss in general, like how do we go from point A to B? What kind of what is heading? We know about journal terminology. What is heading? What is drift? All right, and how aircraft gets drifted while wind is coming from left, right, and how do we calculate payload? All general things. In general navigation is a combination of certain things. Like normally, if we talk about subject, then there is a separate subject, mass and balance. All right, but we need to know about basic things only in CPL. Like how do we calculate? What are the basic terms and definitions of them? How we are going to calculate simple latitude and longitude, drift angle, track error. So we would understand with the help of some numericals and theory in general navigation. We'll also study about flight planning, like how do we plan our flight and how to fill the flight plan. What are the meanings and what are the terms of flight plan which we should know as a pilot. So again, not in very much deep, basic. In radio navigation, anything which is related to radio wave, all right, basic properties of radio navigation, and what all instruments which are related to radio wave, we are going to study in this, like for example, VOR, NDB, all right, VDF, ILS, then TCAS, GPWS, satellite system. So all things related to radio navigation, we are going to cover. Related to radio wave, I would say, more or less related to radio wave, we would cover in radio navigation. Instrumentation, like basic instruments, which we should know while we fly, Cessna or any other flying. But here we understand about basic instruments separately, like what kind of instrument measures height, airspeed, Mach number. All right, and how do we see what instrument tells us about pitch, bank angle, about turning of aircraft? We would discuss about these things, and what was the basic version and what were the, you know, what were the issues at that point of time and what we have upgraded. So from basic to the upgraded version and what we are using right now. And performance, there are so many V speeds and climb performance, cruise performance. All right. So these kind of so many stages in performance. What are the different speeds? At what speed we take off and reject. So I'm just giving you the basic information over here so that you have a basic idea. Okay, these things we are going to cover. Okay. So in performance, we do not study much in CPL. You can expect around 30 to 35 marks from general navigation. All right. And radio and instrumentation, if you club them together again, 30 to 35 marks. Right. And again, this is 25 to 30 marks. So 30, 30, 60, 70, 80. And now performance would be somewhere around 10 to 15 or less, more than 15, maximum is 15. But as per DGCA pattern till now, they ask you from performance somewhere around 10 or 12, not more than 15 and not less than 8 or 10. But again, there is no specific parameter declared from DGCA. They may increase or decrease number of questions from any of the portion, because for them this is one subject. Yeah. But as for the pattern of DGCA, this is what it is. So we would only understand about performance basics, not in deep very much, not required. But yes, performance, again, we are studying over here about all the basics only, not very much in deep. Later on, performance would be very important for us. Later on, this basic part would be removed from your airline. Whenever you would go in airline, you'll only concern about, let's say, if we talk about Indigo, Airbus 320 or Boeing, whatever you are going to fly, you are more concentrated in this performance wala sector than about your aircraft, whatever you are flying, because you should know well about your aircraft. So in that case, this performance will help you a lot.
Please don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon to get all upcoming videos.
She joined, it's been almost 10 years with Indigo. So now again, we all are in same. So welcome to the pilots community. We all are going to become a pilot, and I'm sure we all would fly together someday.
Thank you.
Okay. So now, if you have any questions, Supriya, before getting started, you can ask.
No, I don't have such question, but agar beech mein hua to I will definitely ask.
Yeah. All right. So see, navigation is a combination of 4 subjects for CPL: performance, radio navigation, general navigation, and instrumentation. Today we would cover what do we study in basics of navigation. Overall, we call it general navigation. Everything is in general. So what we cover in general navigation, what we should study, what DGCA is expecting us to know. All right. So we would discuss so overview of general navigation. That is one part of navigation. The combination of all subjects for CPL is known as air navigation. Right? So shall we start? Okay. So this is first of all, we should know basics of navigation, like what is a solar system, what is the plantation of Earth in terms of solar system. how it is moving, what is its inclination angle, we would study in detail. Not about sun more or less, but about earth, the angle. Because reason of season, what is the reason of season? Inclination of earth. Why? Because earth is not rotating Sida bilkul. It is tilted with the angle of 23.5 degrees. So we would study. So we should know the basic thing. Solar system kya hai, planets kya hote hain. But more or less what we should know that would be covered in notes and class. Because solar system तो बहुत wide है. थोड़ा सा जानेंगे उसके बारे में, then we will come back to our course. What is the angle of inclination and why it is happening, why temperature increases, decreases, कभी सर्दी होती है, कभी गर्मी हो जाती है, कभी बरसात आ जाती है. So we would understand being a pilot, हमें पता होना चाहिए. क्योंकि हम तो 12 महीने फ्लाई करेंगे, ऐसा तो है नहीं सर्दी सर्दी फ्लाई करेंगे गर्मी. That is not possible. So we should be familiar with the seasons. क्यों होता है? Why? Because that plays a major role in flying too. आपको whenever it's rainy season, आपको अलग तरीके के एटीट्यूड से फ्लाइंग करनी पड़ती है. Whenever it's hot, एयरक्राफ्ट के परफॉर्मेंस में भी इस चीज का काफी इम्पैक्ट आ जाता है. We'll cover that too. Then we would study like what is Earth, what is the shape of Earth. अब उसमें ग्रेट सर्कल क्या होता है, स्मॉल सर्कल क्या होता है, रम्ब लाइंस क्या होती हैं. You should know the basic definition because DGCA asks questions related to these definitions too. Convergency, what is convergency? We would understand in detail. So in terms of convergency, you should know the formula, basic definitions, and DGCA also asks you about some numerical portion. Like in Northern Hemisphere, how do you calculate convergency? How do you calculate conversion angle? Okay, latitude, longitude. Do you have, both of you have any idea what is latitude and longitude?
Yes, sir. Latitudes are basically the horizontal lines, and the longitudes are the vertical lines on the Earth's surface.
So in terms,
basically, Earth has been divided.
Exactly. Very nice. It means I can feel that you are studying something. So overall, we have studied during 10th or 12th, like this is your X or Y, दो axes होते थे. So like see if we draw one point, this is your P point. And see, this is how, if we know from here to here, whatever is the measurement and here to here, then we can reach this point. Right? So this is 2D representation. And यहाँ पर हम मीटर बोल देते हैं, like x axis, y axis, 2 meters from here, 3 meters from here. Same thing we would study here in latitude, longitude, and we talk in terms of degrees. All right, we do not talk in meter over here, but the same thing we understand about location worldwide and what is the latitude, because overall we should know about the shape of Earth. And a पूरी shape of Earth के बारे में हम बात करेंगे, तो latitude, longitude different होनी चाहिए ना हर चीज के. Then only we can track anything. If we are flying from India to US, so we fly on certain latitude and longitude. फिर उसमें किस तरीके से जा रहे हो, बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं that we would understand later. Now like use of latitude, longitude, coordinates to locate any specific position. So that this like, you know, if you want the basic thing I am telling you, like if there are some like so many airports, like if we talk about Delhi, Jaipur, Bangalore, Mumbai, they have their specific code and name assigned by ICAO. What is ICAO? Can anybody tell me?
International Civil Aviation Organization. Basically, it's an organization that creates the rules and regulations for all the countries.
So this is DGCA of world.
World.
Now, all right, and this is our DGCA. So all the authority across the globe are being governed by ICAO. So more or less, most of the things which we are going to follow has been decided by ICAO. Then just to fulfill the requirement of ICAO and make the standards, so DGCA is the local authority of India. In US, that is FAA. So same like EASA is in UK, Europe. So every country has its own civil aviation authority to take care of all these things. So in case any place which does not has any specific name, then we always locate that with the help of ordinates. If we know latitude and longitude, overall, what do we do in GPS? We type name, but that name is visible for us, but that thing is being tracked with the help of latitude and longitude. So this is how these things work. So overall, today's class would be more or less a story type class to give you overview, because it is impossible to cover in one day. Then we would understand time. How do we calculate it? All right. So I told you this is 360 degree. All right. This is your Earth. If you want to, Earth is rotating, like completing one orbit in 24 hours. If you want to complete it, like degrees have been divided in terms of time too. So to complete this 360 degree, it means 15 degree per hour. Earth is rotating. So this is how we calculate time, and then we would understand like UTC, LMT, what is a standard time, what is international deadline. This you guys must be aware, being a cabin crew.
So one, just out of curiosity, why do we always follow the UTC time when we're flying, even though we're flying in domestic?
Yeah, UTC we follow because we have to, normally if we follow the local time, that would be a problem for everybody. So UTC time is something which is a standard. All right. Let's say every state can have its own economy. All right. See, so language, if we talk about India, we have different languages. So uska issue aata hai na, sabko apni apni language chahiye. If there would be a one language only in India, this is national language, तो बहुत issues खत्म हो जाते हैं कि भाई ठीक है, you keep your local language with you, no problem, there is no harm, but this is something which is national language, वो तो सबको सीखनी ही पड़ेगी. So it would be a mandatory thing. So in a similar fashion, if you want to represent anything internationally, so you have to maintain one parameter that will help you to understand everybody. Like English, English is a kind of international language. Wherever we go, whenever, like if we cannot speak Spanish, Russian, what do we do being an Indian? Because I don't know Russian and Spanish. I always try to communicate other than Hindi in English only. I'll try. Agar nahi koi success mili to kuch nahi hai. So in a similar way, अब IST you know, ठीक है. अब US की अगर हम बात करते हैं, EST, PST, CST, these are the major time zones. क्योंकि बहुत बड़ा है US. अब अपना जो इंडिया का है, वो तो कैलकाटा से ही लेते हैं, GMT plus 5:30. But ऐसा नहीं है, this is exact. 19-20 फर्क आ जाता है, but we have taken standard. हम यहीं से टाइम मेजर करेंगे. So एक इंटरनेशनल पैटर्न को फॉलो करने के लिए we follow UTC. Whenever we call on RT2, because again, who is Papa? The cow. Whatever Papa told us, we have to do it. And DGCA is our Papa. So we are following whatever DGCA is telling us, and DGCA is telling us whatever he's being told by. So this is how this chain is going. Otherwise, there is no other logic in it. Just to maintain, let's say, why can't we say A for apple, B for boy? Because just to call apple, somebody say apple, and somebody is going to say apple. So it will create a problem. But yes, now everybody knows A as an alpha. I have learned it, you have learned it, Supriya has learned the same thing in a similar way. So overall, if I say A as an alpha, because we all have taken similar training across the globe, थोड़ा बहुत चलेगा तो चल जाएगा, तुम्हें पता पड़ जाएगा हाँ कोई बाहर का बंदा है अल्फा बोल रहा है, बोलना नहीं आता अल्फा अल्फा कर रहा है बट वो अल्फा बोल रहा है. So because we all know कि नहीं भी अल्फा होता है, ब्रेवो होता है, चार्ली होता है, सो करेक्शन बहुत कम होता है. यू अज्यूम कि इसने ऐसा बोला होगा. दैट इज व्हाई वी स्टडी अबाउट आरटी. दैट बिकॉज़ whenever you get any urgency or emergency, ATC is aware what kind of format you are going to tell. है ना कि भाई मेरे को he'll tell me about number of passengers, type of emergency and requirement on arrival. Because ATC is also got the training in a similar way the pilot are getting. So that is why we try to make similar training so that that can be internationally approved. CPL, अब इंडियन CPL ले लिया आपने, US CPL ले लिया आपने, या किसी और कंट्री का CPL ले लिया, आपको कुछ नहीं करना है. You just have to go in any country, just clear their check ride and you will get their license. You can convert your Indian CPL to in any other country's CPL at any time. You just have to clear your check ride because they'll check, are you able to fly or not? If your check ride is clear within like 1 month, some with the some certain of requirements like 10 to 15 hours, your license could be converted. 1 से 2 लाख रुपए में ही हो जाता है, not a big deal. Why? Because everybody is getting trained in a similar way. Cessna ही उड़ा रहे हैं, सभी को इंस्ट्रूमेंट ही पढ़ना है, रेडियो नेविगेशन ही पढ़ना है, सब नेविगेशन पास करके आ रहे हैं. We all across the globe are studying same meteorology. We all are studying about Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta. So this is the thing we follow. Now directions. We directions क्या होती हैं? What is east? What is west? What is north? What is south? So we understand them in deep. We 360 है. Again, sorry for the not the perfect circle. I'm bad in drawing. So like this is 0, 0, 0. This is your 0, 9 or 0. This is your 180. This is your 270. वही आपका ये north हो गया, ये east हो गया, ये आपका south हो गया, ये west हो गया. So we would understand directions. Then cardinal points होते हैं इनके बीच में से, उनके बीच में से भी we can take some points and understand that. So this is how we would study, because later on, if aircraft is coming from east or wind is blowing from east, so whatever it is going to be happen, we would understand the terminology. अगर वो उसने डिग्री नहीं दी है, if aircraft is going towards east, it means उसकी जो heading है that is 0, 9 or 0. So basic things we should know. Then magnetic poles, isogonal lines होती हैं. Then what is the difference between true and magnetic directions? If we know about true directions, how we are going to calculate? So we should know that deviation, variation, how do we calculate it? That we are going to cover it in class in details. There would be some numericals which we should learn how to calculate them. DGCA loves, asking these kind of questions related to theory as well as from numerics. So let's move ahead. Then distances. Now normally in our day-to-day life we use kilometers, right? But in aviation our units are different. All right. So height used in navigation, we would use this nautical mile all the time. Like if you are coming from A and you're going to B, we do not say like how many kilometers, we say how many nautical miles. So this is 30 nautical miles. Simple. The way we discuss about kilometer, we use here nautical mile. So we should know what kind of conversion it's like. 1 nautical mile is equal to 1.85 kilometer. So these kind of conversion table, we would understand how we can, like convert them from kilometer to nautical mile to kilometers, meters, centimeters. So we would understand about these conversions as well. In speed in our normal life, we say like knots. Over here, we call it knots. How many knots? What is your speeds? So we have to understand the difference कि अपनी नॉर्मल लाइफ में हम क्या यूज कर रहे हैं, एविएशन की लैंग्वेज क्या है और उसमें क्या यूनिट्स यूज होती हैं, दैट वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड इन दीस थिंग्स. देन मैग्नेटिज्म एंड कंपास, like what kind of forces are there in magnetism. We understand कि क्या horizontal होता है, क्या vertical होता है of earth का, directive force क्या होता है, variation क्या होता है. Then we would understand about aircraft mechanism कि क्या होता है, what is hard iron, what is soft iron, उसका what is impact like in our navigation. Again बहुत ज़्यादा डीप में नहीं जाएंगे, बेसिक्स ही पढ़ते हैं being a pilot CPL के लिए कि भी मैग्नेटिक फील्ड क्या होता है, वेरिएशन इन डायरेक्टिव फोर्स क्या होता है, इन केस लाइक मैक्सिमम वेरिएशन क्या होता है, व्हाई ड्यू टू मैग्नेटिज्म अपने इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स में एरर्स आ जाते हैं. सो हाउ वी कैन कैलकुलेट दोज टर्निंग एंड एक्सेलरेशन एरर्स so that we know and we can get the correct reading whatever we want, so that we can be more precise whenever we fly. वो हम इसके बारे में पढ़ेंगे. Knowledge of principles, standby, landing on main compasses and remote reading compasses. तो एक तो आपका compass होता है which you are using regularly, and one is always standby compass in all the aircraft. In case of emergency we use them. तो वो क्या होता है, कैसे करते हैं, and detailed knowledge use of these compasses because that is important being a pilot कि भी हमें कैसे करना है, क्या करना है, क्या errors होते हैं, how जैसे DGI होता है, डायरेक्शनल जायरो इंस्ट्रूमेंट होता है, वो और ये कंपास होता है, इन दोनों के बीच में क्या रिलेशन होता है, when we have to correct it all the time. तो बेसिक चीजें सब जानेंगे. Again remote indicating compass क्या होता है. So these kind of instruments, whatever we are going to study over here, उनके बारे में what we complete, we study like what are their indications, what are their principle to work, and what is their working style, how they are working. So this is what we should know whenever we study about any instrument in navigation, in radio navigation, in instrumentation. Charts. Because to fly from point A to B from Jaipur to Bangalore, earlier we were using charts only, and very interesting. I don't know about you guys, like you are aware or not. See, earlier navigator was the different person to navigate the aircraft, and RT just to communicate, radio operator was the different person, and for the flying there was another person. तो जो flying करता था उसको pilot बोलते थे. Now what do? We do a job. One person is doing job of all three persons. That is why you are getting paid more. Navigation भी आप कर रहे हो, communication भी आप कर रहे हो, because चीजें इतनी optimize हो गई हैं, you can do. Earlier you have to open. अभी तुम जब cross country करोगे flying की, then आपको charts मिलेंगे, visual flying करोगे, you will check your checkpoints. Okay, I have crossed river, done. अभी 2 checkpoints और हैं. So you do fly visually with the help of your visual charts. और आप देखते हो नीचे कि नहीं भी मेरे को एक टावर मिलना चाहिए था, नहीं मिला, इतने टाइम में मेरे को एक नदी पड़नी चाहिए थी, वो नहीं पड़ी. So this is how you locate things so that because see, if you are flying from point A to point B, and in between you have 1, 2, 3 checkpoints. Now, all right, we are aware there are 3 checkpoints, but we should know when these 3 checkpoints are going to be on your route. Then only we can see, are we going right or wrong? So let's say this is your 3 minutes, all right, and this is your 10 minutes, and this is your 2 minutes. So you will check like your departing time was 1000. So once you are 1003, you will check. Let's say this is a river and it is like this. So you cross it perpendicular, and this is any kind of mountain, hilly area that you have to check it. Then this is again kind of tower. So, and that can be anything. I'm just giving you an idea so that you understand. So in visual flying, now we have to calculate the time and we have to check like, are we on the right track or not? So in charts, it is not possible to draw any chart the way our earth is. It is a circle, complete circle. So we have to have some particular thing, थोड़ा सा straight line हो. अभी तो ये सर्कल है, तो उसमें अच्छे से इसी को बहुत सारी चीजें हम पढ़ेंगे कि मर्केटर चार्ट है, लैम्बर्ट कॉनिकल चार्ट है, अलग अलग जगह पे लाइट रख के इनसाइड दी if we fit any light inside the globe तो कैसा दिखा, फिर उसको प्रिंट किया, फिर पेपर पे लेकर के आए, उसको फिर चार्ट बना. And we tried it from all the angles. In the middle of globe light रख के देखी कि कैसी अर्थ दिख रही है. Then we compare it with the real structure कि उसमें क्या difference आ रहा है. फिर light ऊपर on the north pole, south pole, इस तरीके से all the scientists I would say or navigators have tried कि भाई कैसे करें, क्या करें. Then we came to know about these all charts like Mercator, Lambert conformal conic, polar stereographic, transverse Mercator, oblique Mercator. ये अलग-अलग properties के साथ अलग-अलग direction से we have checked the globe from all the point of view. Now we have decided which chart is good for which thing. So we can refer, all right, like it's clear now for anything like in our life or we can say in our family. पता है अपने को कि भी पैसे चाहिए तो we have to call our dad most of the time कि पापा पैसे देंगे. अब पापा रूठ गए तो किसको पटाना है, मम्मी को, है ना. अब अगर मम्मी और पापा में झगड़ा हो गया तो उन्हें पता है किस बच्चे के थ्रू हमारा सुलह हो सकता है. So these are the assigned job in our family. ऑटोमेटिकली हमने कभी प्लान नहीं किया होता है लाइफ में. These are by default एक्सेल शीट बनी हुई होती है सबके ब्रेन में. आपको घर से बाहर जाना है. When being a girl, I do not know much about you, but I am telling you, being a girl, मम्मी हमेशा रोकेंगी कि कहाँ जा रही है, क्या करने जा रही है. तो उसको फिर पापा के पास जाना, मुझे तो जाना है पापा, जाना है तो जाना है. Then your father will support you for sure and you will go. This is the end of the story जो होता है. So this is the way we all have designed our life. इसी तरीके से एविएशन में भी अलग अलग चार्ट्स डिजाइन कर दिए कि भाई इस पर आप करोगे तो इस चीज की एक्यूरेसी, लाइक व्हाइल यू वांट टू कैलकुलेट एनीथिंग नियर बाय इक्वेटर तो ये वाला चार्ट यूज करो. व्हेनेवर यू वांट टू कैलकुलेट नियर बाय पोल तो ये वाला चार्ट ज्यादा करेक्ट है. और हमने सब कुछ करके देखा उसको कि भाई क्या हो रहा है. whenever we are taking meridians as a straight lines तो क्या हो रहा है, whenever they are not straight lines तो क्या हो रहा है. Now because more or less our vision is to get the accuracy so that I can give you like Supriya, you can fly from A to B, these are the coordinates, go and land. But in case if I'm giving you the distance between A to B is 100 nautical miles, but that point is almost 90 nautical miles. I should know there must be an error of 10 nautical miles. अगर aware हैं तो हम पहुंच जाएंगे. Whenever we are about to reach 100 nautical mile, we have to check certain points. अगर वो दिख रहे हैं तो ठीक है, otherwise continue. पता था कि 10 nautical mile का error. But now things have been upgraded now. इन सब चीजों की जरूरत नहीं है. But being a pilot, we would all learn what is Mercator chart, what is Lambert, what is polar transverse. इसका थ्योरी आप मतलब ये 3 to 5 मार्क्स के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं इसमें से. So theory में से तो charts के कि भाई what kind of chart it is, why do we use it, what kind of properties belongs to which chart, and numericals आते हैं इसमें से. वो common है, वो chart wise नहीं है. Like distance from Earth, all right, and length of chart. This is we would learn. There are 2 formulas which we would understand how to solve all the equations and all. तो वो common है, but overall 3 to 5 marks का इसमें से आ जाता है. Any questions so far? All right. So again, अब ये बता दिया है इसमें. Like representation of meridians, which I told you, parallels of latitude, great circle, कैसे कैसे इन पे represent किया गया. Nothing special. Now the use of current aeronautical charts. आज हम क्या कर रहे हैं? Tracks and distances, कैसे हम scale निकालते हैं? Conversional signs क्या होते हैं? Plotting positions कैसे करी जाती हैं? तो ये basic चीजें हैं, सारी हम cover कर रहे हैं. That reckoning navigation क्या होता है आपका? इसमें that reckoning navigation में we should know like what is track in theory, what is heading compass heading क्या होती है, what is magnetic crew, grid is not related to your course, what is wind velocity. Do you both of you have any idea what is wind velocity? Okay, no issues. So speed, what is the speed of wind? Is wind velocity. All right. So speed of aircraft is air speed. Then we would understand like what are these different speeds, like indicated airspeed क्या होती है, calibrated airspeed क्या होती है, true airspeed क्या होती है, then what is Mach number. And we would also understand in instrumentation which instrument will give all these things. What is ground speed? What is expected time of arrival? What is drift? What is wind correction angle? Like whenever we have been drifted from our track, wind की वजह से, then how we are going to correct it and come back to the. ऐसा तो कभी नहीं हुआ ना कि wind ने आपके एयरक्राफ्ट को लेफ्ट या राइट धकेल दिया था और हम दिल्ली से मुंबई जा रहे थे और कहीं और लैंड कर गए. नहीं होता. Why? Because we always apply wind correction angle. Now we have everything in our hand, automatic computers हैं. We know what kind of winds are blowing whenever we are flying from Delhi to Mumbai. तो उसको automatic calculate करके आपको दे देता है. Use of navigational computer, speed, time, distance, fuel consumption, conversion, heading, air speed, wind velocity. So in terms of time and distance in normal, whatever we have studied in our 10th or 12th, same thing, but we would understand in terms of like what time, like if we have fuel of 16 gallon, if we say, all right, then how many minutes we can survive. So we would understand in details, like how we play with the fuel, how it is important for us. Like we would understand in general navigation fuel policy, like how much fuel we should have whenever we fly from point A to point B, and what kind of holding fuel jet engine should carry all the time, and what kind of holding fuel for propeller, turbo propeller or piston engine, I would say. So these kind of things we would cover in this. Then triangle of velocities, है ना? कैसे करते हैं, like heading, velocity. So we use flight computer to solve these kind of numericals. at least I'm telling you, flight computer helps you to score 10 marks. You should know how to use this, and some basic things you just need to put into that flight computer, and that will give you the answer. So it really helps a lot to clear navigation. तो वो आपको लेना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि एग्जाम में साइंटिफिक कैलकुलेटर एंड फ्लैट कैलकुलेटर बोथ आर अलाउड. डिटर्मिनेशन ऑफ डीआर पोजीशन कैसे हुआ, लास्ट नोन ट्रैक क्या था, स्पीड, डेड रिकॉग्निंग पोजीशन क्या होती है आपकी, लाइक व्हेनेवर एनी इंस्ट्रूमेंट इज फेल्ड, इज नॉट एबल टू, लाइक ड्यू टू एनीथिंग, पावर फेलियर और कुछ, तो वो क्या करता है, डीआर ट्रैक पर चला जाता है. वो कैलकुलेट करता है पहले की जो भी परफॉर्मेंस कैलकुलेशन से स्पीड, बिकॉज आई डोंट नो एनीथिंग. बट व्हाट आई वुड डू, जब मेरे को ये नहीं पता लाइफ में आगे क्या कहाँ जाना है, तो वो कहते हैं ना, एक कहावत है, यू कैन नॉट, आई एम नॉट गेटिंग दैट, you cannot connect the dots looking forward, but you can connect the dots looking backward in your life. सेम कहानी है. तो वही समझ लो कि ये वो डीआर पोजीशन है कि भाई जब उसको ये नहीं पता इंस्ट्रूमेंट को कि मैं आगे कैसे ले जाऊं, तो पीछे का डेटा लेकर के ट्राई टू गाइड यू कि ठीक है द बेस्ट.
So what is the full form of DR?
Dead reckoning.
Reckoning.
ये है ना आपका. This is your DR. Dead reckoning navigation.
Okay. Right. So any instrument which, for whatever reasons, is not performing goes automatically on this DR.
Not all instruments actually. आपको कुछ सर्टेन होते हैं जो जाएंगे, बाकी क्योंकि ये अब जैसे स्पीड है, अब स्पीड में तो क्या होगा, लेकिन now we have the combination of so many instruments. जो हमें बहुत सारी चीजें दे रहे होते हैं, उन्हें क्या बहुत सारे इनपुट्स मिल रहे होते हैं, तो अगर वो फेलियर हो जाता है क्योंकि उसके इनपुट्स इतने हैं, तो वेरीफाई करके अप्रॉक्सीमेट एक आपको आइडिया दे, वो पढ़ेंगे हम सारा इन डिटेल्स. एलिमेंट्स इनके वही टेम्परेचर, वही जो, अरे वो मतलब टेम्परेचर क्या है करेक्शन में, एप्रोप्रिएट स्पीड क्या है, मैक नंबर क्या है, अब मर्केटर चार्ट, लैम्बर्ट चार्ट, वही सारे उनसे रिलेटेड सारी चीजें, मेजरमेंट्स ऑफ मैक्सिमम रेंज क्या होती है, रेडियस ऑफ एक्शन क्या होता है, पॉइंट ऑफ सेफ रिटर्न, पॉइंट ऑफ इक्वल टाइम, ये भी होता है आपका, लाइक पॉइंट ऑफ नो रिटर्न भी होता है, इक्वल टाइम, लाइक व्हेनेवर वी फ्लाई फ्रॉम पॉइंट ए टू पॉइंट बी, हम हमेशा we calculate one point, from that we can decide कि like if this is like this is point D, we always decide कि D से पहले इंजन फेलियर हो गया तो हमें कहाँ जाना है, because हमारे पास लिमिटेड फ्यूल है, राइट, हमारे पास सबसे फ्यूल इज अवर लाइफलाइन, फ्यूल एंड एयर स्पीड, ये पायलट की लाइफलाइन होती है. स्पीड गई तो गए, फ्यूल गया तो भी गया. So you should be very precise about this fuel first. Airspeed तो आप always monitor करते हैं, because it is like if your heart is not beating, what does it mean? We all are no more. As simple as that. So the same thing, if your aircraft is not performing airspeed, how would you fly? So in terms of fuel, because we are flying from A to B, and we can reach A to B because we have that sufficient fuel. लेकिन यहाँ पर जाकर के कुछ गड़बड़ हुई, and by our mistake we have taken back our aircraft to A, तो नहीं पहुंच पाएगा, because ये तो थोड़ा सा ही रह गया था, and we had fuel till this point. अब पता नहीं पहुंचेगा या नहीं पहुंचेगा, but एक approximate नहीं, अब because A to B we don't know, we are talking about 5,000 nautical miles or 10,000 nautical miles. That is why we always calculate a point in case something goes wrong. like either we are going to coming back to our departure aerodrome, or we would go to the destination, or alternate. Everything we plan it in advance. So इसी को ही point of equal time बोल देते हैं. कैसे point of equal time होगा? Like let's say अगर आपकी head wind है, सामने से आ रही है तो head wind है, पीछे से आ रही है तो tail wind है. कुछ rocket science नहीं है. माथे में टकरा रही है तो head wind है, पीछे aircraft की tail से टकरा रही है तो tail wind है. Just to understand, simple. कुछ भी उसमें ऐसा कुछ. Now I'm asking both of you. Let's say wind is coming, like head wind है आपकी, okay? You are flying from point A to point B. अब ये बताओ कि ये point of equal time, हमें एक ऐसा point calculate करना है जहां से A पर आने में भी उतना ही time लगेगा, B पर जाने में भी उतना ही time. So in nil winds, when there is no wind, तो आपका in between होगा. कोई wind ही नहीं है, calm wind है तो कोई issue ही नहीं है. Now you are getting headwinds when you are flying from A to B. तो अब मुझे ये बताओ, ये point किधर जाएगा? Towards B or towards A?
Towards A ही जाएगा.
अनुपमा.
No, actually it will be towards B, because if you come towards A, so you will have more speed, so you will take less time, because
So always CP moves into the wind. आए समझ में आया सुप्रिया? नहीं आया, आ जाता तो फिर गलती थोड़ी होती. नहीं, कोई बात. समझते हैं इसको अच्छे से, कम से कम बेसिक्स तो क्लियर करें अपने आप से.
Sir, can I just get 1 minute? There is somebody at the door. Just 1 minute.
Yeah, go.
Thank you.
So Anupama, you are correct. Acha, Anupama was asking me. Okay, so Supriya, like if it is headwind, हम यहाँ से यहाँ जा रहे हैं, है ना? तो हमें ज्यादा आगे से हवा टकराएगी. सो क्या होगा? हम यहाँ से यहाँ जाने के लिए हमें ज्यादा ताकत लगानी पड़ रही है. Because that is something which is stopping us to fly. ज्यादा फोर्स लग रहा है. अगर हमने, तो क्या होगा? into the winds होगा, because या towards B पहुंचने में हमें ज्यादा टाइम लगेगा. Whenever you are taking 180-degree turn, तो आपको क्या हो रहा है? आपकी like if you were flying at 100 knots और आपकी 40 knots की wind चल रही थी, headwind थी. Now once you change your direction of flying, तो ये क्या होगी? tailwind होगी. तो आपकी स्पीड तो 140 knots होगी. And when you were flying towards B, तो क्या होगा? 100 minus 40, तो ये 60 knots होगी. समझो? तो whenever we are going towards, say, अपनी स्पीड 140 होगी, and whenever we are coming towards B, तो इस 60 knots स्पीड है. So always, just to understand, it's no issues. कौन सी हमारी ये क्लास है, overview है, but this is how things would work in a study in aviation or in terms of flying. All good to go? आ गया समझ में? Okay. Then हो गया ये miscellaneous कर लेंगे. Then in flight navigation we would study like what is the average speed during climb, during descent, average air speed, wind velocity with the help of computer. Then we understand how to calculate our flight logs like wind speed, wind direction, at what altitude we are flying, with the help of pressure, temperature, so many things we would get in question. Then we have to calculate them. So basically kind of numericals which we would practice. Mass and balance, we would understand like what is CG, center of gravity, its definition, importance. Mass and balance, like how do we calculate mass of luggage, of passenger, of aircraft, what is our maximum takeoff mass, what is our maximum landing mass, all right, because we can fly with the higher takeoff mass, all right, and any which way, but there are some certain limitations in landings, but we can go with the higher takeoff more than landing mass. Why? Because prior reaching our destination हम फ्यूल बर्न कर चुके होंगे, तो हमारा वो लैंडिंग का पैरामीटर भी फुलफिल हो जाता है. सो दिस इज हाउ वी हैव टू प्लान एंड वी वुड अंडरस्टैंड. इसमें आपके न्यूमेरिकल्स आते हैं काफी सारे, पेलोड बोल देते हैं उसको मास एंड बैलेंस में, लाइक हाउ डू यू कैलकुलेट इट, उसका फॉर्मूला पता होना चाहिए. व्हाट इज मैक्सिमम टेक ऑफ वेट, व्हाट इज मैक्सिमम लैंडिंग वेट, right, what is maximum zero fuel weight. So these kind of terminology we would understand what is like a combination between what is basic operating weight, aircraft का टायर वेट क्या होता है, ऐसे तरीके के बहुत सारे टर्म्स आएंगे जो हम इसमें पेलोड में कवर करेंगे. So basic
sorry,
yeah, go ahead.
So basically जो आप बता रहे हैं all these mass of the maximum take off weight, ये सब pre-decided होता है या the pilots they decide as per the sector or as per the load of passenger or whatever?
Yeah, this is as per the sector, weather, बहुत सारी situations होती हैं.
So before a flight, it gets
yeah.
decided.
So when you calculate it prior to flight, दिल्ली टू मुंबई जाना है तो recent weather क्या है, wind क्या है, आपका लोड क्या है, आपका कार्गो लोड क्या है, आपके पैसेंजर्स कितने हैं, उस हिसाब से सिस्टम विल गिव यू द बेस्ट स्पीड्स. आज आप इन स्पीड्स पर टेक ऑफ करो, दिस इज योर क्रूजिंग स्पीड. सो लेट्स से लाइक इफ वी डोंट हैव इनफ लोड इन आवर एयरक्राफ्ट, इट मींस वी कैन फ्लाई एट द हायर स्पीड, कोई इशू नहीं है, जल्दी पहुंच जाएंगे. और जब बहुत ज्यादा है, सो फॉर दैट वी नीड नॉट टू कैलकुलेट एनीथिंग मैनुअली नाउ, वी हैव एवरीथिंग इनबिल्ट इन एयरक्राफ्ट और सिस्टम्स. इंडिगो ने आपको एक वो कुछ बोलते हैं, आई एम नॉट रिमेम्बरिंग द नेम, आईपैड दे रखा है, उसमें एवरीथिंग इज इनबिल्ट सॉफ्टवेयर्स दे रखे हैं. आप तो रीसेंट सिचुएशन डालो, क्यूएनएस डालो, टेम्परेचर डालो, इट विल गिव यू द स्पीड्स के भी ये स्पीड्स हैं. वो स्पीड्स you will fill in MCDU. आपने देखा होगा 320 में लेफ्ट राइट में जो रहती है, MCDU will automatically calculate whenever you turn on the autopilot, वो बेस्ट परफॉर्मेंस पे अपने को जाए. बिकॉज अभी जंग किसकी है कि भाई फ्यूल कम से कम लगे. सो दिस वुड बी द कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव फॉर एयरलाइन. सो दिस ऑल वी वुड लर्न. इंटरेस्टिंग रहता है, सब कुछ इजी होता है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. See, आ गया factors determining maximum permissible mass, which you were asking. Structural limitations, performance limitations, runway available for takeoff and landing, weather conditions, temperature, pressure, wind, precipitation, rate of climb, altitude requirements for obstacle clearance, engine out performance requirements. These all parameters we should know. Once we are aware about all these things, then only we can perfect plan for all these things. As for the load, we are going to study like what is CG limits, how do we define our aircraft stability, ability of flight controls, all right, consumption of fuel क्या है आपका, transfer of fuel, lift because of changing position of wing flaps. So many things we need to take care. Let's say everything is good to go, but your flaps are not working properly. All right, everything is working proper, but winds are very strong. Winds are not strong, everything is good to go, you are fit to fly, but weather is not good. You have to divert your flight. So many things you have to keep it in your brain before planning your flight plan or before calculating the best performance speeds. We call them V speeds. We would cover them in performance.
So, but one question, for example, obviously we are doing all this before we start our flight. And what if something goes wrong? then we are, for example, we perceive that, the weather today will be like, winds will be so strong and whatever. But when we are actually flying, we see that the winds are actually not there. So वो पूरा planning जो है, तो what happens to that?
See, now we are that much upgraded. बहुत कम होता है, right? But
Because captains mostly pre-flight में बोलते हैं that बहुत आज turbulent होगा, and हम देखते हैं flight में तो कुछ था ही नहीं. And sometimes they say that it's a very normal, very clean, very nice flight, smooth flight, and it gets so bumpy that आप सोचते हो कि अच्छा, okay. So
yeah, see, again, yeah, definitely I agree with you. We always plan, but weather is very unpredictable. We see, when we started our flying from Jaipur to Bangalore, at that point of time, as per our instrument and tracking system, we found that turbulence बहुत है. At the time you are about to reach, वो तो कुदरत की शक्ति है, कहीं भी गायब हो सकती है. Who is going to ask to the clouds, where are you, man? We were waiting for you. So it happens, and suddenly whenever you fly from point A to point B, आप बिल्कुल चिल मार रहे हो तो अचानक से weather आ जाता है बहुत तगड़ा. So it happens, nobody knows about it. So what happens, as per the experience of your flying, आपको पता होता है, एक होता नहीं है कि जैसे when we used to go बचपन में, तो मम्मी पापा पहले ही बता देते, बेटा उस रोड पर मत जाना अंधेरे में. What does it mean? उनका experience is bad with that area only. तो वो precaution दे देते हैं आपको, बेटा 6 बजे के बाद उधर से मत जाना. So what do we do as a pilot after taking certain experience? तो भाई हम फ्यूल ज्यादा ले लेते हैं कि इस सेक्टर में गड़बड़ होती रहती है, तो होने दो, ज्यादा से ज्यादा क्या होगा, डाइवर्ट कर लेंगे, तो फ्यूल ले लो. This is how we prepare ourselves in advance. इसीलिए हमेशा एयरलाइंस prefer to give best combination whenever captain is very new. कुछ एयरफोर्स के जो पायलट्स होते हैं उनको हम क्या करते हैं, कभी कभी like we ask them as per their experience, we like company give them priority and they become a captain. But Airbus पर knowledge co-pilot को ज्यादा होती है, तो combination of experience रखते हैं. Because captain is new, तो वो जो co-pilot company would assign in that particular flight, उसके पास 3-4 हजार घंटे होंगे. Because एक बंदा experienced होना बहुत जरूरी है. Because he knows that route, he knows all the weather situations and all. इस तरीके से ये सब प्लान किया जाता है. So you are absolutely correct. Real life example और ऐसा होता भी है. Up the terminology which we were discussing, and I was telling you, same way, empty mass, what is empty mass, what is dry operating mass. So you get questions on theories में plus numericals, दोनों ही आते हैं. BGC would ask you, like they may ask you what is operating mass, right? What is empty mass? You will get the MCQ questions, and if you know the correct definition, you have to choose the correct option. Then same thing, then CG, moment arm, datum, moment, these all the definitions which we would cover. Performance of single engine aeroplane. When we talk about performance, we always calculate all the speeds in like with one engine failure. क्योंकि जब अच्छा होता है, then we don't need anything. We should be prepared for the worst. तो वो कब होगा? So all the calculations in performance have been taken with one engine failure. जो भी speeds होती. Then in that we would understand like definitions, terms, speeds, takeoff landing performance क्या होता है, slope, runway conditions, wind velocity, altitude, these all things we have to take care in terms of performance. Any of these things can impact your aircraft performance. All right, then performance of multi-engine aeroplane, same thing, we would study that too. Flight plans for cross-country flights. So we would understand like how do we plan our flight and what is our flight plan and how do we fill them, what do we write, like how do we plan fuel, how do we write the name of any departure aerodrome or destination aerodrome, anything. All right, so we would understand that in detail, need not to worry. So overall, this is the complete overview of general navigation. कैसा लगा, like पूरी कहानी सुन के? टफ लगा, इजी लगा, इंटरेस्टिंग लगा?
It is interesting, sir. बस वही कुछ हैं जैसे न्यूमेरिकल्स जो आप बता रहे हैं,
वो हो जाएंगे. Don't worry. They see why it is tough, because we do not know. Terms are new. Otherwise, nothing is tough on them. So about numericals, not like those numericals in 10+2 physics में हम derivation करते थे 4-4 पेजों के. dy dx is equal to ये, फिर वो चल रहा है 2-2 पेज में, फिर उसके बाद पता नहीं क्या-क्या हुआ. Then we got the wrong answer. So not like that.
Regarding that question जो आप पूछ रहे थे, that if you have headwinds towards the, तो उसका आप मुझे दोबारा बता दें क्या था? Because
again, वो आपका like whenever you are going from point A to point B.
right.
So whenever there is.
Sorry to interrupt you. मेरा phone off हो गया था, that's why.
कोई बात नहीं. We all are chill. Relax. Come and join whenever you can. So nil winds. In case of nil winds, ये यहाँ पर होगा in between point A to B. And whenever like our situation जो वहाँ पर रखी थी, like whenever it is आपका, what is this wind is called?
Headwinds.
Headwinds. Okay. So whenever it is headwind, होगा क्या? ये आपको पीछे की तरफ धकेलेगा.
Right.
So let's say your aircraft speed was 100 and you are getting 40 knots of headwind. So क्या हो गया? What is your actual speed? 60. Right? So equal point would be toward into the wind होता है हमेशा, ऐसे याद रखिए. मैं बता दे रहा हूँ like why it happens, because your speed is 60 now. So you will take more time to reach from here to Bravo. Overall equal time लगेगा यहाँ से यहाँ पहुँचने में और यहाँ से यहाँ पहुँचने में. Why? Because whenever you change the direction of your aircraft, wind is tailwind now. So your current is, your speed of your aircraft is 100 plus you are getting help of the wind. So now you are flying at 140. So this, it would be the point from where you can get Bravo or Alpha at the same time. So we always plan it in terms of emergency or anything. Have you ever felt this situation, both of you, any like due to passenger, like kabhi heart attack ho gaya ya kuch ho gaya, kind of that thing? Have you ever? So good. This was nice.
So we've diverted because of weather.
Weather is also one of the biggest reasons. हमें like till the time you do not look into the cloud and like sitting inside the cockpit, बहुत easy लगता है कि ये बादल ही तो है. लुक एट द स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ क्लाउड्स, वो एयरक्राफ्ट को क्रैश कर देते हैं। ये जो इतना बड़ा एयरक्राफ्ट होता है क्रैश हो जाता है। एंड हाउ, अंदर आप जाओगे, ठीक है, देयर वुड बी थंडर, ठीक है, इलेक्ट्रिकल लाइक पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव चार्ज होगा। क्या उससे आपके इंस्ट्रूमेंट, ओवरऑल ये इतना बड़ा जो हाथी है आपका, बोइंग हो या एयरबस हो, चल तो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक सिस्टम पर ही रहा है। द टाइम इट गेट्स फेल्ड, यू आर डन।
Sir, I think I have to use my AirPods better. क्रैश का नाम सुन के ना ऐसे ना हो मेरे दादाजी उठ जाए और मैं वो बोले बन चुकी तू रहने दे यहीं पे।
नहीं, see, उसको उस तरीके से लो। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी शुड नो अबाउट ऑल बैड्स जो भी हो चुका है। इट विल हेल्प यू टू इग्नोर एनी। एंड अदर थिंग, व्हाट इज नॉट रिस्की इन योर लाइफ? आप घर से जाते हो, रोड पे ज्यादा एक्सीडेंट्स होते हैं, एयर में तो 2% होते हैं, है ना। एंड और एक बात बताओ, लाइक इफ यू डू नॉट बिकम अ पायलट, मैं तो एक चीज मानता हूँ अपनी लाइफ में, आप ट्रेवल नहीं करोगे, वुड यू स्टॉप ट्रेवलिंग? तो रिस्क तो उतना ही है, आप आगे बैठो या पीछे।
अब आप रिस्क को पढ़ रहे हैं।
Exactly. When you are a pilot, you know what is going to be happening. As a passenger, you don't know. So it's all about your perception. जिसको जैसे जाना है, जिसको जैसे आना है, वो वैसा ही होता है। कुछ ये सब कहने की बात है। अब आप ये सोचो, थिंक अबाउट ये ग्रुप कैप्टन विपिन, ग्रुप कैप्टन थे, कौन थे अपने जो सीडीएस वीडीएस इन सबके जो चीफ।
Oh yes, हाँ, जिनका अभी प्लेन क्रैश हो गया। Yes, he was the chief.
नो, बट जिंदगी में मुझे पहली बार किसी के लिए दुख हुआ। मैंने कहा यार बताओ ये लोग क्या करते हैं।
And it was a very stupid error. As in, मतलब सबको पता था कि वेदर खराब है, still.
वेदर के साथ खिलवाड़ नहीं, वो इकाओ का भी पापा है। Weather is weather. It's very dangerous actually. Never play with the weather. पता नहीं उसमें कोई सेठी नहीं। Anyway, so this is overview of general navigation. Right? If you have any question, and this is how we should plan our study about general navigation. कि भाई किसकी theory पता होनी चाहिए, किसके numericals पता होनी चाहिए, क्या क्या पता होना चाहिए। So now you have idea कि नहीं यार जनरल नेविगेशन में हम क्या पढ़ेंगे, है ना। अदरवाइज क्या होता है, हम ब्लैंक रहते हैं।
At least now we know zest of topics. So yeah, that's good.
ये है। अब बीच बीच में आप लोग बोला करोगे मेरे को, ये मैं आपको दे दूंगा कि ये कब पढ़ा रहे हो सर ना, तो वो सही हो जाता है, एक ट्रैक हो जाता है। तो इस तरीके का ओवरव्यू हम चारों सब्जेक्ट्स का, लाइक चारों पार्ट्स ऑफ एयर नेविगेशन का लेंगे करने से पहले।
Here you go, your checklist. Like, subscribe and share. Thank you for watching.